So look, you might have seen in the media a lot recently, especially when it comes to things like the Me Too movement and scandals around sexual harassment, that the media seem to think that men have an impossible job now. They don't know what to say or do, or have any idea how to treat women. Certain articles seem to think it's unreasonable for women to dictate how they should be treated. But in many ways, it's simply because something is changing, and certain people who don't like change or are scared of change think that therefore that change is bad. The fact of the matter is that they don't know how not to be sexist, because they've been taught, not necessarily in lessons, but, the media and society has taught them that women are lesser people, they are weaker, they don't deserve as much as men. And whilst the vast majority of men don't say this outright, they don't think this consciously, it's the subconscious things that they do. But the good news is, I can tell them how not to be sexist. So look, in some articles, in newspapers and on the internet, there's now things like, it's no longer okay to hug women, it's no longer okay to pat them on the shoulder or have any physical contact with them whatsoever. No, that's not the case. And in many ways it's really simple. It's as simple as this. If you were in a business situation and you were meeting somebody for the first time, would you give them a hug and a pat on the shoulder? No, you wouldn't, would you? Why might you not do that? Because it's unprofessional, yeah? It's discourteous in a lot of ways. And whilst hugging between men in the workplace is becoming more and more prevalent in a lot of ways, there's a key difference here. These people tend to be your kind of friends and have in some way consented to it. You know, they're not going to go in for a hug unless you know, because you spent a lot of time with these people, that hugs are okay. Well, guess what? It's the same for women. Now, I've seen this a lot in the past, and when women, or anybody for that matter, is giving hugs out to everybody, I'm happy to give them a hug because I like hugs. I'm a hugging kind of person. And I have many female friends who love hugging, and I will hug them all the time, The point is that I have the consent for it. I know that they like hugging, and I offer them a hug, and I'm fine if they don't want the hug. So let's very briefly expand that out into all other forms of touching your work colleagues. Would you really go around the street touching people's backsides and what have you? Why would it be acceptable in a workplace or in a school or wherever you are just to do it to any girl who you might fancy? Guess what? It isn't. This was covered quite well in a sketch on the MASH Report. You may have seen it on YouTube. I shall link it in the description, and probably in a card just up there. In a skit by Rachel Parris and Nish Kumar, where Rachel's trying to explain the line between what is sexual harassment and what isn't. And while she never approaches wherever the line is, she absolutely has examples of things where the media say that this can't be possibly acceptable now. Women seem to think that this is no longer a reasonable behaviour, which are things absolutely fine. So, like saying hello.
Because even talking to a woman is now completely off limits, isn't that right, Nish?
No!
No, it's not, Nish, but it's fun to pretend to be confused about that, isn't it?
And she counterpoints that with examples which are clear to literally everybody, you would think, are unacceptable.
Is it okay to give a woman flowers?
Yes.
Yes, you're right, Nish, yes, as long as you don't put your penis in them.
Problem is, of course, that these things still happen. What I'm saying is there's definitely ambushing going on. There's definitely times where you're trying to corner somebody. And these things should be clearly unacceptable. So it's not about where the line is. Apart from anything else, that line is different for individual women. As it should be, because it's an individual's choice about how far you can go with somebody, how friendly you are with somebody. It's to point out things which are clearly unacceptable versus things which really are acceptable, but for some reason the press like to say that some women think they are not acceptable. But there's no way and there's no point in drawing an actual line in the sand, what is acceptable and what isn't. Because people who are trying to demonise women, are trying to push it as far as they can, if they know where the line is, as it were, they will push it all the way up to that line, which is exactly as unacceptable as being over the line. The default position should be nowhere near the line, and only in exceptional circumstances, when you've genuinely made a mistake, should you be at the line, and you should just be never, ever over the line. Do you agree, or maybe not agree with what I say about this? Leave your comments below and I'll read them and reply to them. But in my view, it's really easy not to be sexist. What it does need, though, is a recognition of what you think may be acceptable, may be bang on that line, and actually you should be nowhere near there. If you like the video, do give it a thumbs up. You can do that just down below. I make videos every single week, which is a really good reason to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye-bye.